Book 11, Chapter 10. Lo, are they not full of their old leaven, who say to us, What was God doing before he made heaven and earth? For if, say they, he were unemployed and wrought not, why does he not also henceforth and for ever, as he did heretofore? For did any new motion arise in God, and a new will to make a creature, which he had never before made, how then would that be a true eternity, where there ariseth a will which was not? For the will of God is not a creature, but before the creature, seeing nothing could be created, unless the will of the Creator had proceeded. The will of God then belongeth to his very substance. And if aught have arisen in God's substance, which before was not, that substance cannot be truly called eternal. But if the will of God has been from eternity that the creature should be, why was not the creature also from eternity? Chapter 11. Who speak thus, do not yet understand thee, O wisdom of God, light of souls, understand not yet how the things be made, which by thee and in thee are made. Yet they strive to comprehend things eternal, whilst their heart fluttereth between the motions of things past and to come, and is still unstable. Who shall hold it, and fix it, that it be settled awhile, and awhile catch the glory of that ever-fixed eternity, and compare it with the times which are never fixed, and see that it cannot be compared, and that a long time cannot become long, but out of many motions passing by, which cannot be prolonged altogether, but that in the eternal nothing passeth, but the whole is present, whereas no time is all at once present, and that all time past is driven on by time to come, and all to come followeth upon the past, and all past and to come is created and flows out of that which is ever present. Who shall hold the heart of man, that it may stand still, and see how eternity is ever still standing, neither past nor to come, uttereth the times past and to come? Can my hand do this, or the hand of my mouth by speech bring about a thing so great? Chapter 12. See, I answer him that asketh, What did God before he made heaven and earth? I answer not as one is said to have done merrily, eluding the pressure of the question. He was preparing hell, saith he, for pryers into mysteries. It is one thing to answer inquiries, another to make sport of inquirers. So I answer not, for rather had I answer I know not, what I know not, than so as to raise a laugh at him who asketh deep things, and gain praise for one who answereth with false things. But I say that thou, our God, art the Creator of every creature, and if by the name heaven and earth every creature be understood, I boldly say, that before God made heaven and earth, he did not make anything. For if he made, what did he make but a creature? And would I knew whatsoever I desire to know to my profit, as I know, that no creature was made before there was made any creature. Chapter 13. But if any excursive brain rove over the images of forepast times, the wonder that thou, the God Almighty and all-creating and all-supporting, Maker of heaven and earth, didst for innumerable ages forbear from so great a work before thou wouldst make it, let him awake and consider, that he wonders at false conceits. For whence could innumerable ages pass by, when thou madest not, thou the author and creator of all ages? Or what times should there be, which were not made by thee? Or how should they pass by, if they never were? Seeing then thou art the Creator of all times, if any time was before thou madest heaven and earth, why say they that thou didst forego working? For that very time didst thou make, nor could time pass by before thou madest those times. But if before heaven and earth there was no time, why is it demanded what thou then didst? For there was no then, when there was no time. Nor dost thou by time precede time, else shouldest thou not precede all times. But thou precedest all things past, by the sublimity of an ever-present eternity, and surpasseth all future, because they are future, and when they come, they shall be past. But thou art the same, and thy years fail not. Thy years neither come nor go, whereas ours both come and go, that they all may come. Thy years stand together, because they do stand, nor are departing thrust out by coming years, for they pass not away, but ours shall all be, when they shall no more be. Thy years are one day, and thy day is not daily, but today, seeing thy today gives not place unto tomorrow, for neither doth it replace yesterday. Thy today is eternity, therefore didst thou beget the co-eternal, to whom thou saidst, This day have I begotten thee. Thou hast made all things, and before all times thou art, neither in any time was time not. Chapter 14. At no time then hadst thou not made anything, because time itself thou madest. And no times are co-eternal with thee, because thou abidest. But if they abode, they should not be times. For what is time? Who can readily and briefly explain this? Who can even in thought comprehend it, so as to utter a word about it? But what in discourse do we mention more familiarly and knowingly than time? And we understand when we speak of it. We understand also when we hear it spoken of by another. What then is time? If no one asks me, I know. If I wish to explain it to one that asketh, I know not. Yet I say boldly, that I know, that if nothing passed away, time past were not, and if nothing were coming, a time to come were not, and if nothing were, time present were not. Those two times then, past and to come, how are they, seeing the past now is not, and that to come is not yet? But the present, should it always be present, and never pass away into time past, verily it should not be time, but eternity. If time present, if it is to be time, only cometh into existence, because it passeth into time past, how can we say either, this is, whose cause of being is, that it shall not be? So, namely, that we cannot truly say that time is, but because it is tending not to be. Chapter 15. And yet we say, a long time, and a short time, still, only of time past or to come. A long time past, for example, we call 100 years since, and a long time to come 100 years hence. But a short time past we call, suppose, 10 days since, and a short time to come 10 days hence. But in what sense is that long or short, which is not? For the past is not now, and the future is not yet. Let us not then say, it is long, but of the past it hath been long, and of the future it will be long. O my Lord, my light, shall not here also thy truth mock at man? For that past time which was it long when it was now past, or when it was yet present? For then might it be long, when there was, what could be long, but when past it was no longer, wherefore neither could that be long which was not at all. Let us not then say, time past hath been long, for we shall not find what hath been long, seeing that since it was past it is no more. But let us say that present time was long, because when it was present it was long. For it had not yet passed away, so as not to be, and therefore was what could be long. But after it was past, that ceased also to be long, which ceased to be. Let us see then, thou soul of man, whether present time can be long. For to thee it is given to feel and to measure the length of time. What wilt thou answer me? Are 100 years, when present, a long time? See first, whether 100 years can be present. For if the first of these years be now current, it is present, but the other 99 are to come, and therefore are not yet. But if the second year be current, one is now past, another present, the rest to come. And so if we assume any middle year of this 100 to be present, all before it are past, all after it to come. Wherefore 100 years cannot be present. But see at least whether that one which is now current itself is present. For if the current month be its first, the rest are to come. If the second, the first is already past, and the rest are not yet. Therefore neither is the year now current present, and if not present as a whole, then is not the year present. For 12 months are a year, of which whatever be the current month is present, the rest past or to come. Although neither is that current month present, but one day only, the rest being to come, if it be the first, past, if the last, if any of the middle, then amid past and to come. See how the present time, which alone we found could be called long, is abridged to the length scarce of one day. But let us examine that also, because neither is one day present as a whole. For it is made up of 24 hours of night and day, of which the first hath the rest to come, the last hath them past, and any of the middle hath those before it past, those behind it to come. Yea, that 1 hour passeth away in flying particles. Whatever of it hath flown away is past, whatsoever remaineth is to come. If an instant of time be conceived, which cannot be divided into the smallest particles of moments, that alone is, which may be called present, which yet flies with such speed from future to past, so as not to be lengthened out with the least stay. For if it be, it is divided into past and future. The present hath no space. Where then is the time which we may call long? Is it to come? Or if we do not say, it is long, because it is not yet, so as to be long, but we say, it will be long. When therefore will it be? For if even then, when it is not yet to come, it shall not be long, because what can be long, as yet is not, and so it shall then be long, when from the future which as yet is not, it shall begin now to be, and have become present, that so there should exist what may be long. Then does time present cry out in the words above, that it cannot be long. Chapter 16. And yet, Lord, we perceive intervals of time, and compare them, and say, some are shorter and others longer. We measure also how much longer or shorter this time is than that, and we answer, this is double or treble, and that but once, or only just so much as that. But we measure times as they are passing, by perceiving them, but past, which now are not, or the future, which are not yet, who can measure? Unless a man shall presume to say, that can be measured which is not. When then time is passing, it may be perceived and measured, but when it is past, it cannot, because it is not. Chapter 17. I ask, Father, I affirm not. O my God, rule and guide me. Who will tell me that there are not 3 times, as we learned when boys and taught boys, past, present, and future, but present only, because those 2 are not? Or are they also, and when from future it becometh present, doth it come out of some secret place, and so, when retiring from present it becometh past? For where did they, who foretold things to come, see them, if as yet they be not? For that which is not cannot be seen. And they who relate things past could not relate them, if in mind they did not discern them. And if they were not, they could no way be discerned. Things then past and to come are. Chapter 18. Permit me, Lord, to seek further. O my hope, let not my purpose be confounded. For if times past and to come be, I would know where they be. Which yet, if I cannot, yet I know, wherever they be, they are not there as future or past, but present. For if there also they be future, they are not yet there. If there also they be past, they are no longer there. Wheresoever then is whatsoever is, it is only as present. Although when past facts are related, there are drawn out of the memory, not the things themselves which are past, but words which, conceived by the images of the things, they, in passing, have through the senses left as traces in the mind. Thus my childhood, which now is not, is in time past, which now is not. But now when I recall its image and tell of it, I behold it in the present, because it is still in my memory. Whether there be a like cause of foretelling things to come also, that of things which as yet are not, the images may be perceived before, already existing, I confess, O my God, I know not. This indeed I know, that we generally think before on our future actions, and that forethinking is present, but the action whereof we forethink is not yet, because it is to come, which, when we have set upon, and have begun to do what we were forethinking, then shall that action be, because then it is no longer future, but present. Which way soever then this secret foreperceiving of things to come be, that only can be seen which is. But what now is not future, but present. When then things to come are said to be seen, it is not themselves which as yet are not, that is, which are to be, but their causes perchance or signs are seen, which already are. Therefore they are not future, but present, to those who now see that, from which the future, being foreconceived in the mind, is foretold. Which foreconceptions again now are, and those who foretell those things do behold the conceptions present before them. Let now the numerous variety of things furnish me some example. I behold the day break. I foreshew that the sun is about to rise. What I behold is present, what I foresignify to come. Not the sun, which already is, but the sun rising, which is not yet. And yet did I not in my mind imagine the sun rising itself, as now while I speak of it, I could not foretell it. But neither is that day break which I discern in the sky, the sun rising, although it goes before it, nor that imagination of my mind, which two are seen now present, that the other which is to be may be foretold. Future things then are not yet, and if they be not yet, they are not, and if they are not, they cannot be seen, yet foretold they may be from things present, which are already, and are seen. Chapter 19. Thou then, ruler of thy creation, by what way dost thou teach souls things to come? For thou didst teach thy prophets. By what way dost thou, to whom nothing is to come, teach things to come, or rather of the future dost teach things present? For what is not, neither can it be taught. Too far is this way out of my ken. It is too mighty for me, I cannot attain unto it. But from thee I can, when thou shalt vouchsafe it, O sweet light of my hidden eyes. Chapter 20. What now is clear and plain is, that neither things to come nor past are, nor is it properly said, there be 3 times, past, present, and to come. Yet perchance it might be properly said, there be 3 times, a present of things past, a present of things present, and a present of things future. For these 3 do exist in some sort, in the soul, but otherwhere do I not see them. Present of things past, memory; present of things present, sight; present of things future, expectation. If thus we be permitted to speak, I see 3 times, and I confess there are 3. Let it be said too, there be 3 times, past, present, and to come, in our incorrect way. See, I object not, nor gainsay, nor find fault, if what is so said be but understood, that neither what is to be now is, nor what is past. For but few things are there which we speak properly, most things improperly, still the things intended are understood. End of Book 11, Chapter 20.